Okay, so today will be another demo. So I have this animation from one of the students in 3D Sense, Matt, and he kindly provided the shot for me to do some demos. So very thank you to him. And yeah, so now I will just use this to demonstrate how to use mesh light. I've seen a lot of students that they like to use mesh light instead of area lights, which is okay. Just that sometimes you need to push the samples a bit more to get rid of the noise and stuff. Okay, so this is how the animation looks like on the go. So you can see the main character actually walks around the set quite a bit and move around quite a bit. So we probably don't want to flatten the lighting on him. And also we want to get some nice shaping on all the key moments where he has all the nice poses, like for example this frame. We want to make sure it has nice shaping here. Then when he turns, make sure we have a nice shaping on him. And maybe this pose, we want to make sure there's a nice shaping when he goes in to the hiding place. And then when he comes out, we also want to make sure all our lightings it's it's nice. And yeah, of course, the last moment probably want to add some creative lighting as well. Cool. So that's how the overall shot looks like in the on the go. So I think I will start off this by placing, not really placing. I will just use all the geometries like the light geometries that was in the set to change it to a mesh light and keep everything physically correct and see how it looks like on the character first before I do any creative lighting. Okay, so how to create mesh light? There's two ways. You can select the. Let me just open up the. Okay, so you can either select the face and then go to Arnold, and under the translator you can change the polymesh to mesh light. Alternatively, you can go to Arnold likes and you can click on mesh light. It's the same thing. So I'll just use it here since I have it open. Okay, so once you click that, you'll see that it changes um, the geometry to a mesh light now. So I can control the colors, exposure, all the usual stuff that you can do with your lights. And okay, so first thing to note is normalize. So this it's a function where you can click this. If it's enabled, that means you can scale up and down your lights and it will not change. So it will compensate the exposure. So if the light is bigger, it will maintain the exposure as it is when it's small. But if you remove this normalize, if you scale up the lights, the exposure will go brighter. Okay, so I do not want to normalize my lights. Okay, and then you can use your color temperature. And the rest is the similar stuff. Okay, so now let's just test with one light first and see how it looks. Maybe I'll just choose a frame to work on. Let me just choose a nice frame. Okay, maybe you choose one frame where we see the robot and him. So maybe you choose like this frame. Okay, maybe let's just work on this frame then. Okay, so let me just frame the camera. Okay, oh, I'm already on the frame. Okay, so this light is already mesh light. I'll just give it some exposure value. So I'll just put 2 and I'll just render it to see how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like with the mesh light. I'll just stop it, don't need to resolve. Okay, so it looks pretty nice. It gives some nice shaping to the character and also the board. And but one thing is missing is now the light it's a mesh light. It's not showing itself as a light source. Okay, so how we can enable that is inside here there's this option to get the light visible. So just check the checkbox and we just click render again. Okay, so now we can see the light source itself. Cool. I actually quite like the lighting, the shaping that it does on the character. So cool. Yeah, I think I will keep it as it is for now and move on to the rest of the lights. Okay, I'll do the same thing. Change it to a mesh light. Turn on the visibility. Turn off the normalize. And do the same for the left one. Okay. just do a, let me just save this render. Okay, do another render. Cool. Oh, did I not turn on the like visible? Let me just double check. Oh, it looks like it's on, but then it's, let me just let it resolve a bit. Okay. It might be penetrating or something. Let me just shift it down slightly. Okay, yeah, that fixed the problem. Okay, just render again. Cool. I think overall, it's already looking pretty good. Just with that that lights. So let me just check the scene and see if there's other light source that needs to be added. So I think there's a bit more here. Okay, 3 more here, and then let's check the other corridors. Okay, so there is actually, oh yeah, there's 2 more here, and I believe there will be another 2 or 3 more on the left. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the main ones, which will be this top light that the character is directly under, which is important because we actually see the light source itself. So this the ones that are off screen, we can cheat it with 1 or 2 lights if we want, so that doesn't really matter. So yeah, it's looking pretty nicely. So but one thing I don't like about doing this mesh light is it makes the whole thing looks like a constant, so it's just white all the way. And then in real life, you probably have some fall off at the side, or there's some textures or some dirt or scratches along the side. A quick way to get that is we can go to Photoshop and then quickly do a vignette um, texture, and then I can wire that into, say for example, let me just choose the middle one. Okay, let me just save this image. Okay, I can wire into the color, and then I choose a file, and I will just pick the texture, this one. Okay, then so if I zoom in here, let me just resolve this region. Okay, is there a difference? Let me see. I probably let me just remove this and I do a cleaner renders first, so we can see the before and after. Okay, so this is before applying the texture. Then let me just add a file. Right back. Okay, then do test render. Okay, so you do see a little bit, but yeah, see this is with a bit of fall off at the side, and this is just full white all the way to the edges. You probably will see more. Yeah, it's just probably a touch too, or I can increase the darkness at the edge of the vignette a bit more. Cool. Yeah. I think all these subtle things will help you break away the constant look of it. Okay. So I mean, this is a quick demo. I don't need to go in and tweak all this to perfection. I just want to showcase all the ideas that you guys can do. So I'll just apply this texture to the other 2 lights that we created. So paste, and here paste. Okay, so now if we save image and then we render again, okay, yep, before and after, you do see the light gets a little darker after applying the textures. Cool. Yeah, we also can play with I think probably we want this to be a main light source and this two to be slightly darker, so it's not so even on the top. And what we can do, we can just reduce the exposure slightly, maybe 1 stop, just see how it looks like. yeah, I think it's not bad. Yep, I'll take it. Cool. And then of course don't forget to give it a AOV. So always like group. So we'll this call this the maybe the ceiling one being the main one, and then 2 and 3. Let me just double check the okay. There's an underscore. Cool. And then of course you need to go into your render settings and enable all the AOV. Let me just turn off my Steam for a moment. It keeps popping up, people signing in and out. Okay, cool. So now let's just do a test render again. So we get all the AOVs. Okay, just double check. Cool. So this is the main light source. Left one, right one. Cool. Pretty nice. Okay, so that's the main light source for this character. I'll assume. Okay, so let's just put in the rest of the lights that is in the corridor. So I'll just do the ones that is nearer to the camera. Okay, so what we can do is something. Okay, so this whole mesh is one by itself. So I think I can just quickly use a face. Select the face, and I can go to mesh and just duplicate it. Okay, do the same for this. Okay, then do the same for this as well. Okay, so now if I go to this group, I'll get this piece by its own. Okay, then I will just go into my attribute editor. Same thing under Arnold. We'll just change the polymesh to a mesh light. Then we'll do the same thing. So we'll just put the exposure of 2, reduce the light visible. Actually, the light visible doesn't matter because we don't really see the light source, right? So we can just remove it. Okay, change back to object mode. Okay, convert this to a mesh light. Exposure of 2. Remove the normalize. Then do the same for this as well. Okay, so for this light, I think ultimately what will matters most is when the characters is closer to this entrance here. So let's just find a frame where he's closer to the entrance, like yeah, probably the first frame. So we just want to make sure the lighting that you added does not flatten him out or makes him looks weird. Cool. I think the lighting doesn't feel too bad. It still gives a nice shaping to the character. It's just that it's flattening the ground a bit too much to my liking. So let's just create an AOV for them and see what's the contribution of each of them. I mean, alternatively, I can just turn off one of it. Okay, let's just hide the middle one and test render. Yeah, you see, just by removing the middle one, it already gives a bit more shaping as well. So yeah, I think I quite like. Yeah, I think I quite like it. Okay, I'll just see this. Okay, let's just give a AOV to it. I think I will just put these two in one AOV so we do not output so many AOVs of different light sources, since this is just a small part of the scene or the shot. Okay, so this will be the front ceiling. Okay, let's copy this and we'll paste into this as well. So if the two AOV names is the same, it will just combine these two into one AOV. So I'll just go to render settings, create a Okay, RGBA underscore front ceiling. Okay, do a test render. Okay, so this is the front ceiling. Okay, not too bad. Okay, so now we already have 50% of what the lights is on set. And let's just quickly test a few other frames, like the key poses, and see how it looks. So maybe somewhere around here. Okay, let's just change the frame. Yeah, so maybe somewhere around here. Just take a screenshot, test it. Yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah, but I would like to read the key on his face a bit more. Let's check which light. Okay, maybe it's just ceiling light. Let's just check. Let's just. Yeah, I think probably this ceiling light, I like it to be a touch brighter now. Looking at this pose, it doesn't feel the shape doesn't feel as nice. Let me just increase this exposure tiny bit. Okay, so 2.5. Yeah, okay. And it does give a nice rim onto your character as well, so which is good. Okay, so I guess this pose sort of looks nice. Let's just check another pose, probably around here. Okay. Save this image. Yeah, nice. Nice shaping, so it's fine. Let's just check a few more frames. Okay, maybe let's just check a frame where he's inside the hiding space. Maybe together with the egg, so we can evaluate a bit more. Cool. Yeah, even the egg has a nice shaping to it, and you can clearly see him um, with some nice shaping inside as well. Alright, so now what's bumping to me is that the right corridor seems a bit too dark, and probably the left one we don't see much, but because the egg is coming from there, we will probably want to give him some shaping when he exits that corridor as well. So let's just go ahead and do the mesh slide for it. So since we already have this done, what we can do is we can either use the geometry itself, and we can do the same thing, convert it to mesh slide, or I can probably just do a lazy way. I can just select this one, Control D, duplicate, and I will just shift it over. Okay, can just shift over. Okay, scale it. Okay, then we can maybe scale a bit more. Okay, then we can Control D again, and then just put it to the right. Then we'll give this the right ceiling. Okay, change it for this one as well. Create an AOV. Okay, so now let's just test. Save this. Empty. There's nothing there. Okay, let me just double check. Empty. Oh, right. The color it's black. So when we duplicate the light source, when it has a texture, it does not port over the texture automatically, so it was kept at black. So let me just undo and put the lights back to where they're supposed to be. Okay, and then we'll just go in and put the texture. So just select this, copy the texture, paste here. Okay, do the same, paste here. Okay, so now if we were to render, we should get something. Still nothing. Let me see. Just increase the exposure. Come on, that's weird. Okay, let me just break connection to make sure nothing's weird with that. Okay, yeah, without the texture it looks fine. Let me just plug in the texture again. Now. Okay, so it looks fine now with. Okay, I guess it's just maybe some bug when you're doing the duplicating. So I just put it back to white first and then put back the texture on top. Okay, then just render again. Okay, I think it should be there. It's just that we are not seeing it. Cool. Do we really see the light source? Not really. It's fine. Okay, so before and after. Yeah. Okay. I quite like it. So yep, all the key poses does have some nice shaping. Maybe this is a bit too dark. Yeah, but of course we can come back and refine it later on. So now we just want to have an overall feel of how the shot looks like. So what else can we do? I mean, we want to use all these like if you look at some reference of some corridors in the spaceship, we do see a lot of this emissive stuff um, inside the corridor. So we want to find some opportunity to play a bit more of this emissive stuff in the scene to create a bit more interest. So I think we can just find some place, maybe change this buttons into some emissive light. Can use the opportunity to introduce some other colors as well. So maybe we want this to be red. Okay, so same thing, we'll create a face. We'll select the face. Then duplicate. Okay, so now we get all these faces. Okay, the buttons basically. So I'll convert it to a mesh light. Okay, put it red color. Okay, we want to see the light source, and we probably just give it a we just leave it as it is and see how it looks first. Okay, do the same for the other buttons. Remove normalize and the third button. Okay, okay, save this image and then just do a render. Yeah, so it immediately add a bit more interest to the shot. Now we get some red emissive, and we also can play some lights from this egg pot onto him later on. Okay, let's just find a bit more space to play with all this emissive stuff. Okay, let's look at the model. Yeah, there's a bit more buttons here. So I think all this we can go in and refine and put in some emissive or change it to a light source, which will help create a bit more interest. And yeah, I think overall it's looking pretty cool. Of course we can, because now this is a light source itself, we can introduce volumetric atmosphere into your scene. So we can go to renderer, environment, can go to atmosphere and add in AI atmosphere. Okay, let's just put a very minimum amount and see how it looks like. Okay, so first I do not want all the light source to be reacting with the atmosphere, because it will just fuck up the whole scene. So I will remove all this. I want my main light source, which is the top ones that is closer to the camera, to be reacting to the atmosphere, but not all this that are outside. So just turn off the volume. Oh, this is already muted, so it's fine. Okay, remove the volume. Okay, move the volume, move the volume. Okay, then let's just give it a test and see how it looks like. Cool. I think it gives some atmosphere in the scene, which is nice. But now it's probably too much. So what we can do is we want the main one to still come from this middle light. So but now it's overall too much. So let's just select the middle one first. Okay, probably we just use 50% of it, and we want the left and right to be even lesser. So maybe 20%. And then yeah, just use okay. I just slide the slider like that so that I do not have them in the same value. So at least it breaks up a bit of that similar look. Yeah, cool. I think it's pretty okay, but I still feel probably the side one is a touch too much. Maybe I'll just reduce it slightly more. I really want the main one to be coming from this middle one. Cool. So let's just see. Oh, I did not save one without atmosphere, but you guys can see clearly it adds a bit more detail into your scene. Now it looks like there is some elements or particles in the inside this corridor, and the light is creating this nice volume from it. Cool. I think yeah. I think I'll just stop here before I go further on to beautify the shot. But this overall demo is just to showcase how you can use the mesh light and how you should be using it, creating how you create all the AOVs for that. And yeah, a simple one. So by keeping everything physically correct at where the light source is, it seems like it's giving us a nice shaping. So I will not tweak much at this point. And let me just test one more frame. Yeah, let's just test this frame as well. Yeah, okay. I think it's a bit dark on the screen left side. Probably because the corridor we did not put any of the light source there. So if we start adding the light that's supposed to be there, it will fill up. It will give a bit of fill onto his face eventually. But yeah, I think I can continue that the next session where we go in and then we do all the final touches, adding in a bit more of the buttons like and all the fill and rebalancing all the colors. Yeah, talking about colors, like you can actually shift the temperature of this light. So for example, let's just go to this frame again and say I want this means I want all this light to be not neutral, right? Now it's white. So I can use color temperature and I can shift probably a bit cooler. Okay, let's just save and render. Okay, so now before and after, oh, it's the same. Did it not affect? Okay, let me just okay, again I will just break this first and just check everything is working like how it should be. No, it's not even reacting to. Okay, so sometimes when things like that happen, what I will do is I will force update full scene. Okay, before that, let me just put back my texture. Okay, and I will update the full scene and do a render again. Okay, there you go. You got your color temperature. Yeah, so I think the blue one looks a bit nicer. Let me just take a look at my reference again. Yeah, I quite like the blue one, but maybe it looks a touch purple. We want to shift it more this tone. Uh, so yeah, all the color rebalancing you can do it, or if you don't want to use temperature, you can just go into just remove this and you can set it on your color. But of course, you need to thin. Now we are using a texture, so you need to go into your texture and you thin the white to the color that you want. But yeah, I think adding a bit of color to that also helps your scene to looks more interesting. Cool. Yeah, I think I'll just stop here for this session of demo. We'll come in and finish it up the next session, splitting all the render layers, setting up all the render settings properly, and kick it off for render and comp the next session. So I'll just stop here for today. And if this video is useful to you and it helps you in any way, do like, subscribe, or even comment if you have any question that you want to ask me. Thank you.